Hi everybody, this is Alchemist2 and I'm back again with another series review. I just recently watched Season 4 of Voltron, Defender of the Universe. Or Legendary Defender. I don't know why I call it Defender of the Universe, but I guess it's because of the original 80s title. I don't know. But this season was woefully short, unfortunately. But there was a twist ending. I'm not going to say what it is because when you see it you think, I had a feeling, but then again, you kind of have that notion in your mind and in your gut that maybe it's not what it seems. It's like with anything with the Galra, you're definitely not what they seem, but it's probably the best season so far. Well, the only thing I didn't like about Season 4 is the filler, which was the Voltron show, but that was funny because they did a lot of breaking the fourth wall, which the show has done, and Season 3 introduced Sven in the alternate universe, or default. I call it the default because they go back to what Shiro was in the dub version of Voltron. And I always thought it was really amusing. I know I've mentioned it before, but why on earth would Harmony Gold, or I forget who dubbed it to begin with, what possessed them to grant Sven a Swedish accent? I mean, it makes no sense because they're Japanese characters, save Allura. Anyway, I guess at the time, well, I thought it was really darn sexy because I fell for him. Had a crush on him, still do. Things never change. I don't know what it is about dark-haired men, but it makes me hot under the collar. But anyway, it was a really, really good season. And short. I didn't care for the filler. But the filler wasn't necessary, though. The filler was absolutely necessary because it furthered the plot along, even though it was filler and kind of there. But it was integral to just get the dynamic with the characters, especially Allura in this case. I'm not going to say why, but it's a very interesting and dynamic catalyst for her character. I won't specify the specific reasons as to why this is, but nonetheless, Allura quickly became one of my favorite characters other than Pidge, just because I think it's really outstanding that they have some really strong female role models. And in the original, she was sort of a damsel in distress, you know, pretty to look at, kind of like an ornament or a bauble, just sort of in the background, like with a lot of princess characters, but coming from a very paternal or patronistic country, it's not to be unexpected. Well, they've changed. Japan, they're more liberal than the Americas are, but I think they've changed quite a bit. I think they've progressed. I think they've moved into the 21st century. You still find a little bit of that. If they're doing historical work, yeah, you'll see that. That's not uncommon, but I like the fact that these new writers had given her that kind of integrity and backbone and resolve and resilience and just this inner strength and confidence. I really like her. She's totally BA. And yet she holds this regal, austere presence, and she's very helpful. She's actually absolutely necessary to helping Voltron in this case, but I will not, spoiler, not going to give that away. Well, I'm interested in seeing what they're going to do with it. I don't know if there's going to be a Season 5. I haven't really read anything concerning that, and I haven't heard any kind of murmurings on the interwebs, so unfortunately, because I get a lot of my information from IMBD or Dark Horizons. Dark Horizons was just a complete fluke when I found it, because I don't know what I was looking for, but I found the website, I fell in love with it, and then I decided that I would never leave. It was a very accurate website, and it really gives a lot of pertinent movie information, especially for the years to come. I don't know if they do 3 in advance. They used to. They don't anymore. I think they just do it a year in advance and give release schedules according to that. But I really don't know a whole heck of a lot. But I thought that the casting for the voice actors was perfect. I thought it was nice. I didn't care that they made Allura have a very London sounding accent. I'm not sure what to call that. High London, or it's a British accent. It's not Cockney. Cockney's different. That's East End. She's more, I would say she's London. It's a very high, cultured accent, if I can say that without making it sound like, East End people are different on the strata. No, not necessarily, but their accent is just unique. The different varieties that we have and just vocal character, the music in the background is very 80s, reminiscent. It gives that old nostalgic feel, yet it's a new show with the CGI, which is extremely well done. They don't overplay it. They don't do too much VFX. It doesn't need that, because the show in and of itself is good enough alone. And I just saw a flash of light. I'm sorry. It just took me off guard. Pardon me for that, but it was white. So that's probably Dad. Excuse me. He's probably just saying hi. They've been very active. Pardon me for that. I can't help it. I'm not insane. But I see them. They pop up and say hello. And I wish I could actually hear him. But yeah, he showed up. And he just wanted to stop on by. But they like to play little pranks on me. Like my dad, there's a St. Jude. I know I've mentioned this before, but I got a St. Jude statue on my bureau. And it's always facing the front, but he turns it a little bit to the right, like 30 degrees. I'm thinking, why do you do that? St. Jude isn't even your saint. You have Dymphna. So why? I mean, why would you do that? I don't get it. But anyway, I just think he's doing it to let me know that he cares about me. He's looking after me just like Mom is, and my whole family is watching over me, which is very reassuring, especially during this time of the year. Yeah, it can be a little bit rough, but I know that they're with me. They're in my heart and in my mind. Jeez. Excuse me. No, that's all I got to say about Voltron. And I really do hope that they do a 5th season, because the way that they ended this particular season, I thought if the viewership is high enough, they don't do Nielsen's anymore, but they should. I don't know how they would do that for the internet, but viewership is actually up on the internet. The only reason I know is because I've heard and I read. How to capitalize on that would be a good question. I'm not business savvy, but still, it makes for a very intriguing argument as to why Nielsen's could still be implemented. But regardless, I still think that the series is rather well done. It's got the humor. You've got a lot of interesting just science facts thrown out there, physics and quantum mechanics just there. And then you have morals and values added into that. They're really good object lessons. And Shiro seems to be the wisest of all the characters with a lot of the things that he says. And I just have to sit back and say to myself, whoever is writing it is an absolute genius, just because of how they think, how they write, how they put together an episode and make it's very organic. It feels natural. It's not rushed, and except if you have a lot of action sequences, which are really exciting, and you want the best for Voltron, even when they seem like they're in kind of a sticky wicket of a situation. That's all I got to say about Voltron. So until next time, live long, prosper. Ciao, Tutti.